What if I told you that Matt Smith himself accidentally revealed one of the biggest secrets in television history, only to have HBO scramble to cover it up? What if the real reason we haven't seen Daemon Targaryen's death scene isn't because it hasn't happened yet, but because it was filmed, completed, and then deliberately cut from the final version to protect a reveal so massive it would change everything we thought we knew about Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon? The evidence for this cover-up has been hiding in plain sight for months, scattered across interviews, behind-the-scenes footage, and social media posts that were quickly deleted or edited. Matt Smith, in his characteristic honesty and enthusiasm for the character, may have let slip details about scenes that officially never existed. Moments that would have connected Daemon Targaryen to the Night King in ways that would have sent shockwaves through the entire fanbase. Today, we're diving deep into what might be the biggest conspiracy in modern television production. We're going to examine the evidence that suggests HBO filmed Daemon's death scene, that this scene revealed his connection to the Night King mythology, and that the decision to cut it was made at the highest levels to preserve this revelation for a future project that would reunite both storylines in the most spectacular way possible. But first, let's establish what we know about Matt Smith's approach to his character, and his tendency to be refreshingly honest in interviews. Unlike many actors who stick strictly to approved talking points, Smith has always been open about his process, his insights into Daemon psychology, and his enthusiasm for the deeper mysteries of the character. This openness, while endearing to fans, has also led to several moments where he's revealed more than HBO's publicity machine would prefer. The first major clue came during a seemingly routine interview about the second season of House of the Dragon. When asked about Daemon's character arc and where it might be heading, Smith made a comment that sent eagle-eyed fans into a frenzy. He mentioned having filmed scenes that explored Daemon's ultimate destiny and his connection to the greater mythological framework of Martin's world. When pressed for details, he seemed to catch himself, deflecting with humor and changing the subject. What made this moment significant wasn't just what he said, but how he said it. Smith's body language suggested he had revealed something he shouldn't have. The interviewer's follow-up questions were met with increasingly evasive answers, and the interview segment was noticeably shorter in the final broadcast version than in the original live stream that some fans managed to record before it was edited. The second piece of evidence comes from behind the scenes footage that was briefly available on HBO's official social media accounts before being mysteriously removed. Several fans managed to screenshot and save these images, which showed what appeared to be a massive practical effects setup involving ice, artificial snow, and lighting rigs designed to create an otherworldly, frozen atmosphere. This wasn't just any winter scene. The production value and scale suggested something far more significant than a typical battle sequence or dream vision. Most intriguingly, these deleted behind-the-scenes images showed Matt Smith in costume, but not the typical Daemon Targaryen costume fans are familiar with. Instead, he appeared to be wearing elaborate makeup and prosthetics that dramatically altered his appearance, making him look far older, more weathered, and bearing striking similarities to the Night King's human form that we glimpsed briefly in Game of Thrones. The makeup work was clearly extensive and expensive, not the kind of investment HBO would make for a simple dream sequence or minor scene. The timing of these deleted posts is also suspicious. They appeared online for less than 24 hours before being removed. Despite HBO's typical practice of leaving behind-the-scenes content available for weeks or months, the speed and thoroughness of the removal suggests a coordinated effort to prevent fans from analyzing these images too closely. The third major piece of evidence comes from the production schedule itself. Multiple sources familiar with House of the Dragon's filming reported that the show had several weeks of additional shooting that weren't accounted for in the official production timeline. These mystery filming sessions were conducted with unusual secrecy, with NDAs reportedly stricter than normal and access limited to only essential personnel. What's particularly interesting is that these secret filming sessions allegedly took place at locations that don't appear in any of the aired episodes. Fans who lived near the filming locations reported seeing massive trucks delivering equipment that seemed designed for creating winter and ice effects, unusual for scenes supposedly taking place in the typically warm climates where House of the Dragon's action occurs. Matt Smith was reportedly present for these mystery filming sessions, along with several actors who play significant roles in the show's mythology and prophecy storylines. The combination of the secrecy, the specialized equipment, and the specific cast members involved all point to scenes dealing with major revelations about the deeper magical elements of Martin's world. The fourth piece of evidence lies in the show's editing and pacing decisions. Several episodes in the later seasons have moments that feel like something significant was cut out. Scenes that build toward major revelations suddenly jump to different storylines. Conversations about destiny and prophecy are interrupted at crucial moments, and Daemon's character development seems to have gaps that suggest missing scenes. Most notably, there are several instances where other characters react to Daemon as if he's revealed something profound about his nature or destiny. But the audience never sees what prompted these reactions. These moments feel like the aftermath of significant revelations that were filmed but then removed from the final cut. The editing patterns also show signs of significant restructuring. Technical analysis by fans with film editing experience has identified several sequences where the timeline seems compressed in ways that suggest substantial material was removed. The audio mixing in some scenes also shows evidence of dialogue being cut or altered, with background sound and music levels that don't quite match what we're seeing on screen. The fifth major clue comes from the promotional materials and marketing strategy for the show. HBO's marketing team has been unusually careful about avoiding certain topics and themes in their promotional content. While they're typically eager to hint at major plot developments and character revelations, there's been a notable absence of any material touching on Daemon's ultimate fate or his connection to the broader mythology of the series. Even more telling is what's missing from the promotional interviews. Matt Smith and other cast members have given hundreds of interviews about the show, but there are conspicuous gaps in what they discuss. Questions about Daemon's endgame, his role in prophecy, and his connection to the magical elements of the story are consistently deflected or answered in ways that seem scripted and evasive. The marketing materials themselves show signs of last-minute editing. Several promotional images and video clips appear to have been altered or cropped in ways that suggest they originally contained elements that were later deemed too revealing. The consistency of these edits across different marketing materials suggests a coordinated effort to remove specific visual or thematic elements. The sixth piece of evidence comes from the show's visual effects and production design teams. Multiple sources have reported that significant VFX work was completed for scenes that never appeared in the final episodes. This kind of expensive post-production work represents a massive financial investment, not something HBO would undertake lightly or abandon without serious reasons. The specific nature of the VFX work is particularly intriguing. Reports suggest it involved transformation sequences, elaborate ice and winter effects, and digital environments that would have been among the most expensive and complex the show has ever attempted. This level of investment suggests scenes of major significance, not simple dream sequences or minor magical moments. The production design team also reportedly created elaborate sets and costumes that never appeared on screen. Multiple costume designers and set decorators have mentioned in interviews working on special projects for the show that they can't discuss in detail due to confidentiality agreements that extend beyond the typical NDAs cast and crew sign. The seventh major clue lies in Matt Smith's own performance choices and character preparation. In interviews, he's mentioned researching aspects of Daemon's character that seem to go far beyond what we've seen on screen. He's talked about studying themes of transformation, identity, and the nature of evil in ways that suggest he was preparing for character developments that haven't yet been revealed to the audience. Smith has also mentioned working with movement coaches and physical trainers for aspects of Daemon's character that don't seem relevant to what we've seen in the aired episodes. He's referenced learning specific physical techniques and movement patterns that would be necessary for portraying a character undergoing supernatural transformation, work that would be unnecessary if Daemon's story remained grounded in conventional political and military conflicts. His discussions of the character's psychology also hint at developments that go beyond the aired material. Smith has talked about Daemon's internal struggle with his true nature and his ultimate purpose in ways that suggest knowledge of character developments that haven't been revealed to the audience. The eighth piece of evidence comes from the reaction of other cast members and the production team to questions about Daemon's fate. While most are professionally evasive when asked about future plot developments, there's something different about how they respond to questions specifically about Daemon's endgame. The level of secrecy and the obvious discomfort when these topics are raised suggests they're protecting information that goes beyond typical spoiler prevention. Several cast members have made slips similar to Matt Smith's, mentioning scenes or character developments that don't align with what's been shown on screen. While these could be explained as confusion about different versions of scripts or storylines that were considered but not filmed, the consistency of these slips across multiple cast members suggests they're referencing material that was actually produced. The showrunners themselves have been notably evasive about Daemon's ultimate fate in ways that go beyond their typical careful handling of future plot developments. Their responses to questions about his character arc often seem rehearsed and deflective in ways that suggest they're protecting specific information rather than just maintaining general secrecy. The ninth major clue comes from George R.R. Martin himself. The author has made several comments about House of the Dragon that suggest he's aware of developments in Daemon's story that go beyond what's been publicly revealed. His discussions of the character's importance to the overall mythology of his world seem to reference knowledge that isn't reflected in the aired episodes. Martin has also been unusually cryptic when discussing the connections between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, particularly regarding how certain mythological elements bridge the two series. His comments about surprises and revelations that will connect the shows in unexpected ways seem to reference specific plot developments rather than just general thematic connections. The author's involvement in the production process also suggests that major mythological revelations were planned and potentially filmed. Martin's level of engagement with specific aspects of the show's production, particularly those dealing with prophecy and magical elements, indicates that significant developments in these areas were part of the original vision for the series. The 10th piece of evidence lies in the strategic decisions HBO has made regarding the future of the Game of Thrones franchise. The network has announced multiple spin-off projects and has been careful to maintain flexibility in how these different series might interconnect. This approach suggests they're planning revelations that would tie the various projects together in ways that require careful coordination and timing. The specific projects HBO has greenlit also hint at their knowledge of how Daemon's story ultimately unfolds. Several of the announced spin-offs deal with themes and time periods that would be directly relevant if Daemon's character undergoes the kind of transformation that would connect him to the Night King mythology. The network's investment in maintaining secrecy around certain aspects of House of the Dragon also suggests they're protecting revelations that would have implications for multiple projects, not just the single series. This level of coordination and secrecy points to plot developments that would reshape the entire franchise. Looking at all of this evidence together, Matt Smith's revealing comments and subsequent backtracking, the deleted behind-the-scenes footage showing mysterious ice effects and dramatic makeup work, the secret filming sessions with specialized equipment, the suspicious editing patterns, the carefully managed marketing strategy, the expensive VFX work for scenes that never aired, Smith's extensive character preparation for developments we haven't seen, the unusual level of secrecy from cast and crew, Martin's cryptic comments, and HBO's strategic planning for franchise interconnection. A clear picture emerges. HBO filmed scenes revealing Daemon Targaryen's transformation into or connection with the Night King. These scenes were completed, potentially even fully edited, but were then cut from the final version of House of the Dragon to preserve this revelation for a future project that would properly explore the implications of this connection. The decision to cut these scenes wasn't made lightly. The financial investment in filming VFX work and production design represents millions of dollars that HBO would only sacrifice if they believed the long-term value of preserving the secret outweighed the immediate impact of the revelation. This suggests they have specific plans for how and when to reveal Daemon's true nature that extend beyond House of the Dragon itself. Matt Smith's accidental revelations and the subsequent damage control efforts show how difficult it is to maintain such an elaborate cover-up. The actor's genuine enthusiasm for the character and the story led him to share more than HBO wanted revealed, forcing them to quickly edit interviews and remove potentially revealing content from their promotional materials. The implications of this theory are staggering. If true, it means that viewers of House of the Dragon are seeing an incomplete version of Daemon's story, one that deliberately omits the most significant developments in his character arc. The political and military conflicts we're watching are just the surface layer of a much deeper narrative that involves cosmic forces and mythological transformations. This would also mean that HBO is playing a much longer game with their Game of Thrones franchise than most viewers realize, instead of creating separate, loosely connected stories. They would be building toward a revelation that fundamentally contextualizes both series and creates a unified mythology that spans centuries of Westerosi history. The level of coordination required to maintain this secret while continuing to produce and promote House of the Dragon demonstrates the ambitious scope of HBO's vision for the franchise. They're not just making television shows, they're creating an interconnected mythological universe with revelations that will redefine everything fans thought they knew about the story. Whether this theory proves accurate or not, the evidence suggests that there's far more to Daemon Targaryen's story than what we've seen on screen. Matt Smith's passionate portrayal of the character, his deep understanding of Daemon's psychology, and his occasional slips about developments we haven't witnessed all point to a character arc that extends far beyond conventional political drama. The mystery surrounding Daemon's ultimate fate, the unusual secrecy surrounding certain aspects of his story, and the careful way HBO has managed information about his character all suggest that we're building toward revelations that will be worth the elaborate effort to keep them secret. The Rogue Prince's greatest secret may still be waiting to be revealed, and when it is, it may change everything we thought we knew about the world of Ice and Fire.